Hey, hello everybody. Welcome to the one and only Pungi Dasa's podcast. Now you'll be wondering, what is this? I'm tuning into my much awaited Pungi Dasa's podcast. I have some popcorn here, and then I'm all with my family members. I'm watching, and I'm getting to see somebody I don't understand who this is. Where is my Pungi Dasa? You may be wondering. I'm very sorry, viewers. Today I am there instead, and I will be leading this podcast today. But don't worry, I will not be the only person. I have somebody special with me also, and there is something special for you to await also today. So definitely get your heart pumped up. I know already it must be beating hard. Who is that person with me today? This person, it's actually a very tough introduction. So I've decided after a long exercise, I've decided to keep it very simple because I think difficult things have to be kept simple. So that is what I believe in. So if it is that difficult to introduce, I'll keep it in a simple way. This person whom I have brought here with me is having a very big purpose to make this world a kinder place. So that purpose itself, you can see how beautiful it is. This kind of purpose to make the world a kinder place, and he also goes by two important Ankita namas. So this, when I tell, I think it will be very clear to you whom I'm bringing. He goes by Nimma Coach and Pungidasa. So now it's all revealed. Who I don't have to introduce any further. Who is with me? I extend my heartiest welcome to Pungi in his own podcast. You can see him now.
Yes,
So
yes, yes.
this is like we do puja of God, but this whole creation is by God only. So we are trying to say, oh, we are trying to do pratishtapane of God in our home, but the whole world is His. So what is that? He is coming into His own world, into His own home. He is coming, and then we are saying, welcome, welcome. You are welcoming God into His own home. It is like that when we have Pungidasa himself in this podcast. This is my first opportunity to do a podcast like this, all thanks to him who came up with this idea. And last week, I was his guest. That was also my first time ever in a podcast. So really, many firsts happening here for me. I hope I can make it interesting for the audience. I think Pungi will do all the job. I'm hoping, so I don't have to
Yeah,
do much here. I'm just here to learn about him because he has brought so many people and he has asked pertinent questions, and he has made us all learn about those many guests who have come here. And today is an opportunity, I thought, to introduce Pungi, reintroduce him in some ways to all of us through his own podcast. He has actually gone as a guest in on many occasions to other podcasts. I know I have been witnessing those on YouTube, but this will be interesting. In his own podcast, he has come. So over to you, Pungi, if you want to say something. How are you feeling today?
That's a very coach-like question that you're asking, Kiran. So I am feeling very, very happy to be in my own podcast, and I think also have you, interview me and have me on the podcast. And yeah, I think you're also, I know you, so you would have prepared your own set of questions, and I know myself, so I'm going to make sure that the client is, sorry, whoever is on the other side is going to have a lot of entertainment.
Awesome. See how he's interspersing his coaching words here. Man, yeah. It cannot go. I think it's in his blood, flesh and blood now.
Yes.
So that is always there. In fact, for a formal introduction, as I said, it's very hard. I have given up almost. If you go through his LinkedIn profile, you can see. There are almost 34 or 35 recommendations he has received. So if you read those recommendations, you will also come to know how much impact he has created on people. We remember people on how they make us feel, not by what they've accomplished. Generally, how they have impacted us. So I think this shows Pungi's impact on the world today. How many people he has connected and how many people he has inspired. He's by Nima coach. I think everything is covered. He is anti burnout coach. He is a wellness coach. He is a career coach. Whatever problems we are dealing with, he's going to coach, which means he's going to bring out uh, the awareness in us. And then apart from that, actually, when he started his career, he has about 8 years of experience in the software industry. So that also you can see, it's embedded software. He has worked in that field and also done many volunteering activities along with it. And then now he has turned himself as a coach. And we also know him as Pungidasa, so which is his pen name, so through which he has also impacted people through his stories, through his works. Recently, I'm really very fortunate to say that I was part of his 10th book launch. So official launch, it was very good. Born in 3 days. It was amazing. Definitely urge all of you to get the copy of that book, which is out there. So with this, with no further ado, I would like to pose my first question to Pungi.
Yes, sir.
So Pungi, tell me about your school days, especially the mischief or how your presence in the school was. Is there anything
Yeah,
related to that?
no, I think to answer that, Kiran, I think I was the most studious kid in school. Maybe in kindergarten, I think I was very naughty.
Mm.
So kindergarten, especially, so I studied first LKG in a school in Rajajinagar, and then came to the one school that I finished my schooling with. So I remember that whenever teacher used to, like look at the board, I used to run back towards the end of the class where we used to keep all our dabbas and, like that lunch box. Go drink water and, like come back. And we used to have, used to sit in the corridor, eat lunch that was given. And there was one day where I could not finish my lunch. So until I had to finish, they didn't let me into class. So I also use it as an advantage thing. I took my own sweet time to finish. That was in kindergarten. And then I think I was a very normal kid until even until say high school. Even after high school, it's only the mischief and other things actually began in PUC, and even in PUC, I don't think so much. But most of the mischief used to be while playing cricket. I was always the good boy in almost all things. So maybe in school, people would have not even remembered me. I used to be the silent kid who was neither the topper nor the I was just in the average category. So not so much. I was very silent, me myself, and this thing. I was only worried about what my mom was sending to the school dabba. How to get to school and getting back to school, start playing. I think there was only WWE, cricket, and food. So only three things in life.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also recall watching WWE at that time.
Oh,
Uh,
yes.
did you play those playing cards also at
Oh
that
yeah,
time?
playing cards. So we had playing cards, we have Tazos, and if you, I don't know if you remember, there was once I think Britannia's this thing all you have to get all those covers. Then if
Mm-hmm.
you go to get covers, you have to give it to one of those angadis, and then they used to give you cards. That's so many points, and you used to scratch it, and then so you used to go all across the road, get all of that. So anybody who has put wrappers on the ground, so we had literally done whatever people now call as blogging. We had done that very way earlier because we had to gone house by house, picked everybody's biscuit packet, whatever was there on the road, we had got it, and then collected it, went there, got those books, then went on to get those bigger Britannia quiz books or something. So you've done all that, and then cycling was something that I was very afraid of. Then suddenly, first time I learned to cycle, my friend said, "Oh, I'm going to come with you. I'm going to come with you." And suddenly it left, and then I'd gone. And then one day I wanted to show off, and I had written. So Banshankar is full of ups and downs.
Mhm.
So in the down, I'd fully gone fast, and then I realized saying brake is not catching. So I had jumped off the cycle, like properly injured myself, and yeah, went back home, crying, saying something like this had happened and stuff like that. And the other person's cycle also has gone, it was gone gudri. So it was crazy. But yeah, otherwise, the biggest adventures was getting the ball that's gone into the ditch or mori, staying away from dogs because I have a morbid fear of dogs. Staying away from dogs, and then whenever it goes into somebody's house, basically go into their house stealth mode and come back. And everybody used to be like, he's a good kid because there are other kids who are like very rough and tough. So they used to send me saying, you be the first entry. So I used to always be the messenger. So I used to go get the ball cleanly, come back. So we had one next door who was a problem, customer, and another problem customer, another problem customer. And so we had to play in a way that everything was proper. So and our house was the only house where everything and anything was allowed. So most of the adventures was basically not in school, but playing. And then I don't know if you can believe. So I used to go inside the ditches and get like ball once it goes there. I used to go inside the mori and take it. I used to jump
Wow.
from one house to the other. And there was a like Kali site opposite. So if the ball went there, whoever hits the ball has to get the ball. So my granny used to be always on the char saying, "Oh, there's a snake there. There's a snake there."
Yes, yes, yes. Ah.
We had fun. We had a lot of fun.
So that's what I wanted to ask because I was very scared. So it was not that I would get myself dirty or something. That was not the reason I avoided, but I was scared that there could be some like reptiles, insects. So I used to get scared even for the chameleon. So
Uh,
I was afraid of every single thing. So now when I see my niece, she's so brave. Recently, also when I visited India, I was playing with her, and the ball again went into the ditch. And then they were expecting me to go there. I was reluctant. Then they waited for a few seconds. They said, "Oh, he's not going. Okay, let us go and get it." And then they themselves were able to fetch the ball. So so were you very brave then back then
I
in
think
such a
it was induced bravery because I had other friends who were braver than me. So
oh,
it was
okay.
induced bravery. So we had to show off saying, "Oh, I'm not afraid." So that was there. But I was generally I was afraid of dogs. I think dogs and me were still like if a dog is coming on the opposite side, I used to be like right about turn, come back. I will go from another road. So I was bitten by a mad dog when I was
Mm.
kindergarten. When I was in kindergarten, I would take 7 injections.
Yes.
So after that time, like me and dogs are very, very far away. So that is
Okay.
the space. So, but yeah, interesting story. So it had actually that band dog had bitten around 7, 8 people, and then I was wearing a jeans pant, so jeans pant saved me. Otherwise, it maybe would have been more severe. Uh,
Absolutely.
but yeah, it was a very tough experience, more traumatic to my mom because I didn't know what was happening. I just told her this dog came, it bit me, and like, that was what I said, and she was like fully freaked out. Took me to the doctor, got injections done, and yeah, I still have that. So it's like a memoir. So all the things that we still keep as memories, the 7 injections that dabba is there.
Oh, wow. So do you have the habit of keeping
I have
things?
a habit of keeping memoirs. Yeah.
Oh,
So I
oh.
collect stones. Wherever I go, any place I go,
Mhm.
I collect stones, especially those round ones. Like I am a beach loving person, so I love the beach. So every beach I go, I bring back a souvenir from there. So kapechipu or like this seashell.
Yes, yes.
So I bring it
Ah.
from everywhere I go, every beach I go, and generally any place that I go, if any stone appeals to me, I bring it. So that's something that is there. I wanted to have my great grandfather's SSLC marks card, but like while shifting houses, that sort of got missed. But yeah, I told my grandpa saying, whenever you want to give it, you give it to me. And then I used to collect notes, I used to collect stamps, coins. Um, so all that was the first thing that came to me was, even before poetry, philately. So my uncle is a huge fan of philately. So he used to collect. So whatever he had in abundance, he used to give it to me. And then, yeah, stamp collection was a huge rage at that early age.
Yes.
Pokemon cards, then WWE cards, cricket cards, Tazos, all those things, and then this philately, stamps, coins, notes. Notes maybe later, but then it was initially stamps and coins.
Wow, the Tazo word brought back a lot of memories. When I was traveling in my school bus, and then everybody was into that Dragon Ball Z, and then this Tazo that we used to get in
Correct,
lace pack.
correct.
Yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
sometimes when you open, there used to be no Tazo, and we used to blame the shop owner also. What is this?
Yeah,
Well,
so
yeah,
when you think
yeah.
of lace, so one of my the Santa Claus thing. So like Secret Santa, you put it in a socks and put it outside your window, and Santa will come and give all that. So one of my friends had done that, and then he had asked for lace, and it got lace. So next year, even we wanted to try the same thing, and then by the time that happened, we realized that some uncle of his actually come and given. So we are like, "Ayo, this is not going to happen at our house because they were like no junk food." So and mom still is a good cook. My great granny was a good cook. My granny was a good cook. Like a mom's mom is still a good cook. So I grew up in a place where cooks were, like my dad was a good cook. So I didn't have to go outside to eat good food. All born a foodie. So even now, if I can just tell if there's a salt is right, sourness is right, the khara is right, just by looking at just by smelling the aroma. And from far away, I'm like, upsarila. So I can tell you that salt is not there, khara is not there from a distance. So my skill sets were developed around, say, non-technical. So it was very clear technical is not going to be my path.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Hmm.
So, when it comes to food, then you're very particular, is it? Yeah, it has to
Vegetarian.
be like the salt, sugar, all the
I
content has
am.
to.
No, I'm
Yeah.
not particular per se. Even if somebody cooks with love, I think that
Mm.
that's fantastic. But I will put my own sugar and like, make it perfect for myself and then eat. But I don't
Wow.
tell it to other people's face saying, "Oh, it's not right, it's not proper." So if they
Got
ask me, I'll tell them. Otherwise, I'm a no fuss kind of a guy. So,
got it.
but if it's good food, I enjoy it. If it is average in terms of cooking, in terms of the taste, I eat it because I'm hungry. So I don't complain. So, I am very good husband material.
See, all the among the viewers, if there is anybody looking for a guy, see, he's perfect.
Single,
This is
yeah.
very difficult. See, whatever is being given, he will have it. In fact, he will modify it also
Yeah.
himself without complaining. Very good attitude.
Modified.
Definitely.
Yeah. Modified for you also.
Modified for you also. Very good. No, that critique, being a critique is important. That's why whenever I see Sekai Chandru or even Krupalamanna these days, I love it. So the way they taste and then they are
Yeah.
able to get to the bottom of every single ingredient, whatever goes in. Have you tried cooking yourself?
I am a decent cook, as in like dosa,
Mm,
chapati, palya, saru. So
mm,
I
mm.
don't do North Indian. The thing is, I have very less patience, so I can't sit and do it. So I love cutting vegetables. I love cutting
Mm.
vegetables. I love grating coconut. And
Yes.
if nobody is at home and I am the only one cooking for myself, that's when or if mom wants me to cook, my sister wants me to cook. It's very rare. So then I don't mind cooking, but I think instruction sets like in terms of what is the exact number, when to put what to put. That's there, but I don't really enjoy the aspect. So it's like, uh, getting money for say doing via software, getting money, and say doing coaching. So one is for the heart and one is for the basically for the body. So I
Correct.
don't enjoy cooking as much as I enjoy eating. Yeah.
Mm, got it. I was the same way. After coming to the US was when I learned cooking properly,
Hmm.
actually. Even I just thought, I mean, I was, at least you are there and you are doing it whenever there is a necessity. I used to not even do it when it was necessary back in India. But once I came here, then I had to learn everything. And then now I enjoy. Actually, it's a nice process. The only problem with me is I take a lot of time to cook. So breakfast will become lunch, lunch will become dinner, and dinner will become next day breakfast. That is bound to happen. And yeah, if you see, you will see a cooker whistles at night 1:30 also.
Oh, I
So
am I
yeah,
am
it's a
completely
disclaimer to my
opposite then.
neighbors. Mm.
I am out by my 1:30. I am at my second dream.
Right, right, right. Anyway, some other time we will talk about my cooking. And then, how was Pungi's interest in languages? I'm interested. In school, did he have any interest?
I think school, here basically it was, Kannada, English, Hindi. Hindi, I struggled. Hindi, it was, I don't know if I am neurodivergent or, I was dyslexic, I had any this thing, but Hindi, I think those words, like those syllables literally danced. For me, it was very difficult, the E, whether it goes this side or that side. Every time I had a confusion. And Kannada, the and da was a confusion every time. So every time in my Kannada, this thing, I used to write Kannada, the actual word Kannada, and then be like, oh, this one is da, and the other one is da. And then write it in somewhere such that I keep a reference to it every time. So that was very difficult for me in terms of the first until even sixth standard, seventh standard, and post seventh standard is only Kannada and English. And I think majorly English interest was triggered by I think two teachers. One is one Bengali teacher, and another
Hmm.
teacher here called Rama ma'am and Paramita. So Paramita was the ma'am who triggered the English literature or the poetry interest. And then Rama ma'am was basically, I think she immortalized Swami. And basically through introduction of R.K. Narayan, we had one story, and then after that, I think I liked the teacher first because she taught history, and I was a history buff. Still am, but not as much as I was before. So history was my favorite subject. Rama ma'am was teaching history, and then she was also teaching English. And then she told me about one of the R.K. Narayan stories. And then after that, it was love with R.K. Narayan. So, and I didn't write stories for a very long time. I think only in 2018-ish is when I started writing short stories. But the love for poetry, love for drama, love for, say, analyzing drama. So we had Julius Caesar. And Paramita ma'am was the first one who said, why did Octavius do this? Sorry, why did Mark Antony do this? Why was Caesar doing like this? Each sentence he was like deconstructed. So we had to deconstruct Shakespeare, and I loved it. So I loved that, and then she introduced me to poetic imagery and all that. But yeah, I think she left the school, but I continued to sort of be a history buff. So I was one of the first. So in seventh standard, one very interesting story. Basically, my until seventh, everybody used to learn. Teacher used to basically read from the textbook, write down notes on the green board, blackboard. We used to copy it. So same questions used to come. We used to rattamar the answer and go and reproduce. Seventh standard, somebody just before the exam stole my classwork. So everything based was gone. So first time I actually sat down and read the textbook was this. So I had prepared my own questionnaire. I had prepared my own one-liners, two-liners, four-liners, and so from that I was a proper history guy. So the story is that history books, textbook became my source of knowledge. And after that, yeah, it is a different ball game altogether. So I then went into ICSE, so we didn't have too much of notes and other things. It was fun.
Mm-hmm.
It was another level of fun in ICSE. So it was a must this thing, but yeah, it was as hard as it was. I didn't enjoy my high school. I really did. So, and then, yeah, basically puberty and other aspects coming into as picture. But yeah, it's only high school onwards, PUC and other things is when things got a little better. And I think this present version of Sunil, the one who meets, mingles, and gets along with everybody, was triggered through PU. Yeah.
Interesting. So you were not that kind of a people
Uh,
person
uh,
as a
I
I mean
was
student.
my person. So I give me a book, I will start reading a book. I will not even talk to
Mm.
anybody next to me. And then typical this thing, no, if somebody comes home, I used to be, they used to call me and be like, hi, hello, how are you? And that's it. And then I used to go back and do my own thing. And even if I was there, I was ridiculously silent. Now I think people have to tell me saying, enough, both ho gaya.
And yeah, I share the same emotion actually. And then you mentioned drama. So I'm
Hmm.
curious because when I look at you, I always feel that you are definitely a drama material. You
Yeah.
can bring out the emotions very easily. I have even seen your short story. Bairagi, was it? Was it
Yeah,
Bairagi?
Vairagi was the first one. And
No,
then
Bairagi.
I had done another one called Annange Chai. And I think there were
Oh,
two where I was
okay.
the lead.
Two already.
Hmm.
Okay.
That
Yes,
was
yes.
fun.
Yeah. Talk us through that. Like
So
how your
basically,
interest was.
basically one of my adopted brothers, basically adopted because he's the elder one. His name is
Mm.
Kumar. So his brother from another mother. So he was my colleague. So he basically colleague, then became a friend, then became brother. Like that. The same. Then became family types. So he recognized that possibly there's some drama element in my this thing. And the first, so after you get to corporate, fun at work, other things will actually come into picture. So he introduced me to the world of drama, skits. So I used to write skits. Then essentially, so nobody else used to come. So me, another guy called Rahul, and Kumi. So we were the triumvirate saying get all skits done. So slowly it also went into short movie material. So I did my first short movie called Vairagi. And then after that, I think a year and a half later, we did the Annangitai. And Kumar is, or was passionate about filmmaking. Now he's
Mm.
and passionate about kids. So he has a kid right now, so he's busy with that. But generally he was very passionate. So we were supporting each other's passion. So we had a good team. I think around 15 plus people were supporting each other's passion. We were not the typical software team. You go do a software, get lost after the hours. Do a party at the end of Friday. So we were like family. So he introduced me to the world of drama, and he said, "I think you are drama material. You should do it. You should do it." And then I couldn't say no. So I ended up doing it. I ended up enjoying it. My first one was Brahmanda Guruji. So Prarabdha was
Oh,
the first one. And then
yes.
it was basically inside office, inside our events. And then that became a hit. And then people were like, oh, you're a natural drama material. And then I got into other internal boss skits and other stuff. So yeah, Kumar is one of the persons I have to say thank you to. So he got me into this. But yeah, I think otherwise I am a reluctant drama guy because I hate dialogues. So there's one dialogue in Annange Jai wherein I have to say ನಾನು note ಕೊಟ್ಟು vote ತಗೊಳಲ್ಲ. Okay, so basically I am a corrupt politician in that.
Mm-hmm.
And it took me 8 shots to say the right word. And that shot was saying that you do practice and we are not filming. So he was secretly filming. So because he said we are not filming, I got the dialogue right. And there are only 3 dialogues in the entire short film. And to get those dialogues were a absolute nightmare. So if there are no dialogues, I love acting. Or if there's impromptu dialogues, I love acting. But if there are dialogues that I have to listen, deliver with expressions, I'm like, that's not that. Andange they had no dialogues. And apparently he'd written it for me. He thought I was a Vairagi. And he'd written it for me. So me and 3 others, we went to Talkad, we went to Turali Forest. So I had to walk inside Turali Forest without any slippers. So basically with only one panche and one chalya and one say chombu. We had to go there, climb all over, get pricked everywhere. So it was fall also. It was a very, very different experience. And also, I am afraid of water. So I had to go in water, like do the Shivana pose, I'd go inside. Om pose is there. So I had to do that, but I had also a juttu, no? So like he was like, Pumi was like, "Juttinda ninge neer hinge ji ಅಂತ ಆಚೆ ಬರ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ." That shot never happened because I was afraid of water. And he's asking me to go in the middle of this thing because we had not much of water at that point. We had shot in April. So peak summer, not so much of water. And I am afraid of this thing. And this fellow, I am in the middle, and this fellow is beyond middle. So he's taking his shots from there. I am like, Neem, if you have a problem, you are the driver. There's nobody to take us home. Not that anything happens to you, but I'm like, if something happens to you, who is the driver?
Exactly.
But yes, it happened, and then yeah, that was the first. And then after that, Anange, there was a 1 day shot, 1 day closure. That was also fun. Yeah, I think after that, thank God he got married. Otherwise, I would have gotten into many more of short films. Ended up really fucked up dialogues very, very strongly, or made my own dialogues, which would have irritated him. But generally, yeah, I think now also I basically act, uh, or do stand up. So I do things around this, and basically it also helped me to get on the stage. Stage is never a fear after some point.
Hmm,
So
right.
yeah, drama or generally skits, short movies. This is the story.
Very nice, very nice. Yeah, yeah. I think you're a good fit for stand-up comedy. Those things also. You're a crowd puller, in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
When you're talking, it's very easy to listen to you. And then, yeah, maybe we should also get, because I also want to get into this space. I
Mm.
always tell myself. I remember once when we went was it Kudremukh with my friends, Bosch friends only. We started doing a short story there.
Oh,
So it's
interesting.
in the homestay wherever we were.
Mm-hmm.
We started, that was almost like 10 years back, more than 10 years, I think 2013. So 11 years back. But still that memory is there. Nobody expected us to do that. But
So you
yeah,
do
we
share
also,
the link. Share the link. I'd love to listen. See.
yeah, have to first of all get it. I really want to. And then there is this one of our friends, mutual friends. He's I mean my focus batchmate only. So Naveen Kumar.
Mm-hmm.
He is a very good editor. So whatever video you do, the final product will be amazing. So
Mm.
because he will make sure things will fall in place properly. So you need that also in
Oh
these
yeah,
projects, right? The editing is crucial.
absolutely
Yeah,
true.
how you bring about. So we even when we wish for each other's birthday, we he makes the video. So we would have just wished in however way we want, but the video will be amazing. He'll add music, he'll add all the fun. So yeah,
Mm.
that's amazing. And by the way, how did Pungi get into electronics?
I think a very, very simple story. So,
Uh,
you see, I got into electronics. So, 10th standard, I finished my 10th. So, I'd taken ICSA, and then my mom was working with the same college where I studied. She was a kindergarten teacher in the same institution. And then they had actually asked for applicants who are ICSE. So, if you get your second internals or second this thing, preparatory exam and stuff like that. So, I just went there, and while going, none of the people in my space or in my family were engineers. So they're into business, banking, or working for some other companies. So nothing into corporate, none of the sectoring space had come into picture. So people were asked around and said, "Oh, electronics, typical story of all engineers. Oh, it's in vogue. That's the big thing that's coming. Go to electronics." So I select basically PUC electronics happened, and then I think I was still bad with resistors. I still burnt a few ICs and other stuff, and somehow or the other output came. So I was like, okay, chalo, ho gaya. And then basically I had a very strong CET ranking. I had a three-figure CET ranking. Even I didn't expect that I would get a three-figure CET ranking. So I had told one of my seniors, saying, possibly I'll get rank number 12, or in like envisionment was rank number 12. And, so he's like, 12,000. ನೀನ್ ಮೂತಿಗೆ ಇದ್ ಬೇರೆ ಕತೆ. So I was never the topper. So I was with Kumarans, and Kumarans, everybody in the class are topper. So it's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
60 people.
Uh,
So everybody was a topper. So not much of expectations on me as a person to get a lot of marks. So I knew about 85 easy it will come. But everybody else, my mathematics teacher, so the late KSRP was like the tuition teacher. He was like, Sunil, we are expecting 100 from you. And so my disappointment was I couldn't get 100 for him, not for me. I was like 85 is still. And then I had a fantastic ranking, and I think it would have gotten even better. So, and then somebody said, do embedded systems as your MTech or in MS, go to do electronics. I said, okay, chalo, BIT electronics. And so I tried to get into telecom with RVC, and then with
mhm.
BMS, it didn't work out. So BIT was the next easiest choice. In fact, I hadn't seen how BIT was until I actually had already paid my fees, and I come to pay my fees is when I said, I was like, oh, where am I? I came to BIT at that particular point. And that was I am not a passionate engineer. I will, open things up and put things back. I was never that kind of a person. I loved C because we had learned Java in school. I knew of basic programming stuff, so I like programming. And then also it was I don't want to do biology because I'm afraid of blood, and I don't want to cut cockroaches, blah blah blah. So I don't want to be a doctor. Then I was like, computer science. If I do, I will sit in front of the computer always. I don't want to sit in front of a computer. But life has its phase. Apparently, even electronics engineers will also need to sit in front of computer and do coding. So,
Right.
that I didn't know at that particular point of time, and nobody in my family knew. But it was basically meant to be that I take electronics, come to BIT, and then essentially move from somebody who was nerdish to a person who was the people's guy. So I think BIT had a very strong influence in terms of me as a person and me being a people's person. So, I used to come 3 hours early to the examination space. We had exam at 1:30. I used to come at around 11, say hi, bye to everybody who I knew, and then at 1:30, 1:45, get into the hall and not get anything to read in this thing. So none of my exams, I used to study 8 hours before. So nothing in the last 8 hours. So everything before done by that time. And every day I used to watch a movie from morning 9 to 11. One of my friends who had to study earlier, with his other friends, he used to come pick me up and then, drop me off. He used to go to his friend's study, and I used to do what I meet everybody saying, hi, hello, how are you, what are you doing? And then have good lunch, which I used to never miss, even though it was an exam. And then get back to the examination hall. And I had slept in one of the exams. So all like BIT was another space altogether.
Wow, I mean, it's totally opposite to how I am when it comes to exams. Because for me, I used to take a lot of tension.
Mm.
I used to not eat at all, whole day, not
Okay.
even milk. My mother used to say, at least have milk, because she knew, I think it was already set that expectation right from school. When it comes to exams, that day I'm not eating.
Oh, crazy.
After exam, yes, I will eat anything, but not for the exam. And I study till the last minute, last second. So it is, in fact, I have studied, especially in BIT. I think my study, the curve, the more I have studied as and when the last minute is approaching, I think I have grasped more, I think, at that time,
Yeah.
because it was, yeah, too last minute in some cases, because I would have studied, but not through from the exam point of view,
The exam
unfortunately.
point of view.
I would have studied in a very, like I would have gone into some auxiliary discussions with friends also. And then all that but that is not going to help you crack the
Exactly.
exam. So then you will have to study from exam point of view, know the derivation exactly how it has to be done.
Yeah, yeah.
My God, that was very scary. So, so you have always been able to be like relaxed
Very,
on the
very
exam
chill.
then.
Very
That's
chill.
amazing. So even this was the same case for all your public exams in 10th and
Public
12th?
exams, yeah. So basically, Comet K, I had finished all four papers, all three papers, physics, chemistry, math,
Mm.
all three paper at RVC. So RVC was my center. And
Mm.
I had finished all three papers 25 minutes before the deadline. And all three I wrote saying, I had to give the feedback. So one student has to give feedback how it was, etc., etc. So all three exams, I was the one who gave feedback because I was sleeping for like I used to do that and then sleep for the next 15 minutes. And MCQs were my favorite. So even like I think never a problem if there is an MCQ, I can crack it. Like literally just like this. So and MCQs I could crack. I would sleep and never all exams were chill. So I think maybe one or two exams in engineering also are like tough ones. But until I think out of all the 50-ish exams that we wrote, only two exams were the one I sat for the entire 3 hours. Everything is 2 to 2.5 hours. I'm done. I am the first one out of the examination hall every time. So
Wow.
yeah. And management was my most boring subject. And after 2.5 hours of writing that stuff, I said 20 marks is gone. I don't want to write the next 20. I was like, I'm out of here. So I got around 70, 72. So I attempted only 80. I got 70, 72. And I knew I would get more than 60 plus. Internals was good. I was like, I'm done,
Yes.
out of here. So I am somebody who did all these adventures. So I have
Mm.
never bothered about the exam. So
Oh, because you said in school you were very studious.
hmm, yeah.
So, and you are like a topper.
No,
So,
I
did
was
your
I was
wife
average,
allow?
not the topper,
Uh,
nor better. So I was decent enough. I learned the concept. I know how
mm,
the concept works. And then I was not really into like the exact numbers. So one of the teachers still remembers me saying, "What is the opposite of some other things?" So this uh, women and man, this thing was there. One of the opposite was what is bride, and I had written bridegroom and bridegroom versus bridegroom. So she'd called me to the what is that teachers this thing, and then she had made me read it out loud to the entire this thing, and
oh my
I still didn't get it. Saying I was like, "Ma'am, correct it. This is correct. Why have you not given 1 mark?" And then the other teacher started laughing, saying, "Broom means porque." So, and I was blissfully unaware of it. So I just was chill. So I didn't bother about this. I
God.
think orals are my only problem because I had to remember. Say
Mhm.
who this poem was written by, what was the in between stuff, which I hated. So give me the concept, I'd have done fantastic. But ask me to write the way it should be written, all that, and that was never my cup of tea. So I knew my stuff. I used to go, finish, come back. Uh, and at home also they were not ambitious, saying you have to come first rank, blah blah blah. They were, I think, very chill environment at home. So that way it was never this thing. So I remember in somewhere in third standard, fourth standard. So I had actually written the exam completely, and then um, you know I had tried to give the answer paper first. Ma'am is like, still half an hour is there, you sleep, and I'll not let you go. So you lay down or do revision, blah blah blah. I said I didn't do revision. I never did revision of whatever I'd written. Whatever I'd written, I knew it was correct. So I didn't have to look at it again. It was very boring. So to look at whatever answer I've written. So what had happened is I've got the answer paper back home because everybody had given it. So I was like, I had just walked off in my own sleepy face. I come home and then my grandpa had this habit of asking me, saying, well, what is the question paper? He used to ask, and I used to be like, why are you doing it? Chhod do na. But then I realized I've also got the answer sheet with me. So then we rushed home to the school. My mom was like really frantic. She's like, "What if you fail?" and blah blah blah. She rushed to the school, and school teachers were like, "Where is this fellow's this thing?" And then since I was the studious kind, no, like the decent kid kind, who never got into trouble or caused troubles, they were like, "I think this is real. Whatever is said is real. Possibility is very much there." So they took me back and this thing. So one of that is actually made into one of my short stories. So that's how it is. But school was like, I think exams are chill, never a problem. I think if you one of the exams in engineering, I actually slept. This what is that? Civil, not civil, civics or whatever we do in first or
Oh,
second.
yeah, constitutional and professional ethics.
Constitutional, correct. So the deal was every internals, me and my friends had a competition. So who finishes the exam first and gets out of there, because that was the last exam of each internals. And post internals, we used to go and eat in chat street. So
Mm-hmm.
so we were like, let's get out of here. And none of the constitution classes we had attended. So majorly not mass bunk, there are others who were in the class, but we used to be out. So I used to jump. And then yeah, so essentially so I had marked all the answers before the invigilator goes and signs everybody's paper, saying, oh, this fellow is there. So I used to sign. And before that happened, I had finished and said, I'm done. And he's like, wait until 60 minutes. You can't go before that. So I slept in the hall. And then at around 55, he woke me up saying, now it's time you get up, you give and go. So all such crazy adventures. So I have enough adventures to fill a lot of books.
Yes, yes, I think now we are clear how your Swami your short stories, all those creative stories that you've written.
Yeah, yeah.
Because when your life itself is having so very
So many
vivid
adventures.
experiences,
Hmm.
it is bound to come out through those stories.
Yeah,
And then see, I remember you for the first time when you were the ECSAP chief editor
yeah, I was there.
in
Yes.
PIT.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, you had made a lot of news at that time. Like everybody knew, okay, Sunil Satyendra, and I remember even Kishan telling me that, hey, Pugidasa is here. We were always talking to you, and then another, yeah, of course, Prajwala was always there. She was also associated with
Correct. Yeah. Yes, yes.
writing. Yeah, 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 with all of this, and she being such a good student, very
Yeah.
studious.
Very, very different from what I was. So
No, no, but yeah. So yeah, sometime we should bring her also onto the podcast. I
yes,
feel
yes, very interesting. It will be very interesting to get her on the
very,
podcast.
very interesting. Exactly. I think it is. She's 1 year junior to me, and you are 2 years.
2 years of them,
So
correct.
yeah, it will be a good one. But I know also know that you and Veena ma'am share a very very good bond.
Oh yeah, I think Veena ma'am
As
was
PhD.
basically, I think very easy to say that I think she mothered me through the entire BIT experience. So I see her as somebody who's like my, like somebody with that respect. I've seen her journey of transformation in the 4 years that we were part of. And she was our class teacher, and semester one, she was a class teacher. And then also beyond that, into say Sem 3, Sem 4, Sem 5, Sem 6, Sem 7, I think not 7. So until five straight semesters, she was handling one or the other class for us. So basically, Veena ma'am didn't even take attendance in our class because she knew everybody by name. So HSV is legendary in so many ways. And we were notorious students in the entire class. Not me, but like ours is a notorious class. So sometimes we used to make Veena ma'am sing, saying, ma'am, please sing. And until she sings, we never used to concentrate. So she used to sing for us. And then she was very sweet. I think she continues to be a sweet person. And initially we were like, oh, she's very strict, etc., etc. And then after we got to know her, I think she continues to be a very sweet, very easy to approach space. And then yeah, I think it grew. So she told me she was our guide, so 8 semester guide. And she told me after we finished our exams and other stuff, saying, Sunil, your first impression that you are a rowdy. Saying, every other person in the staff room was afraid that who's this fellow? Like, really? I was a big guy. Yeah? Like, I was a big guy. And then I had my juttu, I had my like very short hair. So I looked intimidating. And they're like, oh, this is going to be a tough person to work with because he has a juttu, he looks big, he's intimidating. And she was like, "Oh, but after we got to know you for 1.5 semesters, we were like, this fellow is, like Sadhu Parani." So that was the thing she told me after 4 years. And yeah, I think it was, as a person, I think, she has that inner child still alive. She's a lot of innocence, and she, loves her subject. She used to get ready to teach every subject, every class, every time. So like 20 minutes before class, she used to sit, solve all the problems again, bring all that. And microcontroller was one of my favorite subjects. So she took microcontroller, she took AEC and a lot of other subjects. And it was another experience. And I think, so somebody who you can call guru at some point, I think one of the teachers that I very, very strongly respected and continue to respect is HSV. So HSV is, always going to be special.
Yes, yes, totally. I mean, when we hear the name HSV, my fond memory of seeing her smiling face comes to me, ever
Absolutely.
smiling. As you said, it appears as if she may be strict, but no, she has that very kind heart
Very kind, very
deep inside.
passionate. Yeah.
Yes. In fact, you guys are very lucky. You have had her take multiple subjects. I think for us, she only took one subject, maybe microcontrollers, only one subject though. So yeah, we missed. I wish she
Yeah.
took more
No, I
subjects.
think Kiran, your job also possibly after this podcast is to convince her to be a guest in my podcast. So
Oh really? Oh yeah, sure. Yes, yeah. Actually, that's true because I remember you have got your chemistry teacher
correct,
from
heavy,
National College, right?
correct, heavy
So you
concern.
got yeah. So like that, oh, ma'am, because she has played such an important role in your life. That is why I knew this podcast will not be complete without mentioning her name. HSV has to be mentioned. I know you even went to her retirement, right?
Correct.
You went. You're always there. You both. She is there with you, and you are there for
Yeah. She
that
continues
special
to be,
moments.
yeah.
So,
So before we,
what did she say now when she looked at you now? What did she say
I think
with
she,
your?
in terms of expressive, in terms of words, I think not much in terms of words, but she's always said that she's proud of all the activities that I do. So that is through actions and through the silences and the nods, the smiles. I am like my teachers are happy. So I have made that happen. And I think we've shared a very strong bond through the 4 years. So me and then there was another guy called Rahul. So me, Rahul. So we're very like not like pet students, but we generally, like our vibes was always that it was never a teacher-student relationship, but more of a strong respect for mutual respect for each other, kind of a way. And yeah, so also Brahmin gossip was also very strongly there somewhere.
Mhm.
So
Right, right.
fantastic. So as a personality, I've seen her. Not just as a teacher, but as a personality, I think fantastic person.
And yeah, we normally think teachers are attracted only to students who are like toppers or like really on in the cream layer, but that is not true. It's all about how we live. We have to just enjoy the moments and then share that bond. For that bond to be created, we have to be ourselves first,
Yeah.
and then connect in that way. Then we will have such special bonds arise out of
Absolutely, absolutely.
such things which are unbreakable. Not truly. And imagine some teachers singing in an
In
engineering
class,
class.
in an engineering
It's
class.
I mean, that is how it should be. Education should be like that. There should not be any bar between the students and the teacher.
Oh,
No, there's a lot of things that we can learn from this in the teaching world also. How the
absolutely.
teacher and student, they should more the better the bond they share, then the impact is very high.
Very high, very high. I
Mm.
think,
You also want to,
yeah.
yeah.
No, I think it was basically like school. They had a few teachers. So, Chandana ma'am is one of my chemistry teachers. Then went into KVG, KSRP. for PUC, and then it was HSV after that. So like a lot of teachers, a lot of like the right set of people at the right point of time will actually guide you to wherever you want to be. So I think that has always been there, and all those people I still remain in touch. So yeah.
No,
Mhm.
totally. When I look at you, I feel that I should also stay in touch with my teachers, which I don't do. When I come to India, I always find 100 reasons that I'm busy or this, and then I don't end up going to BIT or
Mhm.
even my school. In fact, after the podcast with you, I texted one of my Sanskrit teachers actually,
Oh, fantastic.
Danyata, whom I had mentioned on the podcast, and
Mhm.
she even responded. It was such a good feeling. Next time when I'm in India, I need to meet her.
Absolutely, yeah.
Uh,
I think because after school, teachers become friends, and you
yes.
also get to see their human side. Because in school, while we were there, I think we never had any possibility to even think that teachers have a personal life. Teachers also have emotions. Teachers are like for them, they came to class. They were strict. They used to correct that marks card. They used to set tough question papers, and that was it. They were strict disciplinarians. But I started to see people aspect, the people side of teachers, only post school, college, etc., etc. So, and once you see the human side, no, like you don't see them as teachers alone. So you have great respect and reverence for them as teachers, but also you have great respect for them as individuals, as people with beliefs, values, etc., etc., experiences. So,
Mm. Oh, truly well said. I have the same feeling. Yeah, when I was in school, I never even cared about what a teacher might be going through. Right? We just see them in the class.
yeah,
That's it. But we don't know. But now, when we call ourselves as adults, we know what all the things that can
yeah,
happen. With all that, they are coming there and they with only one goal to teach us,
mm,
and they were strict only to make us
make us,
better.
yeah.
Yeah, otherwise they did not have any other agenda why they wanted to be strict also. And do you want to remember any of your other friends in BIT? What all you did,
We had
your
a
friendships, the way you
yeah,
forged friendships there.
we had a fun time, I think. So I remember being the first thing that somebody asked me when I got into class. So first experience with BIT was fantastic. First day I come in. So first day there was a lab session. So and they said no lab. So first day we're not going to create lab. So next week is when it is going to be. So first half of the entire day is nothing. So they are like your actual class begins at 1:30 or 2 o'clock. So I went, that day my great granny's Tithi was there. So I went, had fantastic lunch and started my BHD career. And the first question somebody, when I entered class post lunch, is what is your CET rank? So it is like this mean girls question, type question saying, oh, what is your CET rank? And I told them, say, I've got 670. A lot of people shut their mouth after that. So I had a lot of reverence after that. First day, the only day I actually sat in the first bench. After that, I found my space. So Roshan, Rajesh, Sai, Mitesh, CB, Rao, Python. So they're like, it became an extended family after that. And yes, many adventures. So one of the things is, so I had a sore throat, and I had this thing of carrying, there's not bubble gums, but basically drakshi, dry grapes. And then I used to always keep it just below my tongue and go there. So I did that and I actually went to mechanical lab. And
Hmm.
my friends were in the lab, so I had to give them something and like I was going home. And then I went in there, and the teacher asked why we come here. I was like, I would just wanted to give something to my friend. And that guy's like, why are you eating bubble gum? And you know what, guess what I would have done?
No, it's not a bubble gum, and you would have taken it out and shown, or
Taken it out and shown. I was like, it's not bubble gum.
oh, okay.
That fellow, that person who runs the lab or whatever, not the professor. I think even the professor was there, and he lost his shit, saying, "Get out of here."
Oh my
And
God.
so And our gang, so we had like BIT canteen was famous.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
we'd gone to we didn't have money at that point of time. So we had
Mm.
5 rupees, and all 8 of us put in this thing, and there's a 13 rupees Golgappa fellow. So 13 into 3, 39 ho gaya, 1 rupee is pending. And then that 1 rupee we wanted to also utilize. So we went there, got one boomer, and that boomer was divided into 8 parts, 8 equal parts, and then everybody got one. So we had expertly done the divide by 8 of one bubble gum. So it was a fun friendship. And people used to come to my house for doing combined study for almost all exams. I think semester 2 onwards, combined study was at our house. And then mostly our memories were with food. So 11 o'clock break, all food is kali. So after that, go to the next class, and they were friends in the other class. So most of them were girls, because they were not eating. So we used to get their dabbas. So we used to finish that. Then go to canteen. Then also money was not basically too much there. And I had a lot of these North Indian friends would come there. So they used to be eating. So from one samosa, one piece of samosa, one piece of bhatura, one piece of roti. So by then they should have gotten filled, then come back. Or otherwise, there were a few rich guys in the space, and they used to be like, "Oh, we'll do Dutch later." So we used to have this thing and chat street. So by that time, we somebody used to order. By the time he orders and places the plate, the third, fourth person, nothing in the plate. Literally, it can go back and be served to anybody else. And that street, we could have in 100 rupees, you could have treated 5, 6 people.
I know.
So
I
we
know.
went there. Our solid space was that. And then mass bunks became this thing, and then we used to go to not much of movies, but I think we used to just chill at college, just sit in the quadrangle.
Hmm.
We had like
Hmm.
so many friends just saying hi, bye, hello, how are you, what are you doing? So all that used to happen. So friends are like a very integral part, and majorly many other friends also happened. So it was not our team, our department. There was like next class, some other department where I had friends in IT, civil, mech. So everywhere you go, I used to find somebody. So essentially, even if my class ends at 2 o'clock and the others go to the lab, I used to still chill out in college, meet somebody or the other, and somewhere at 4:30, everybody goes home. So we sit
Hmm.
together. So there were a lot of friends. So many friends. So I don't know how to drive a two-wheeler nor a four-wheeler. But I always had friends who used to pick me up from home, drop me home. So
Wow.
I am like the Utsava Murti in temples. So
Correct.
somebody takes me on a ride, gets me back safe. There
Yeah,
used to be
I
always
recall. I
kids.
mean, yeah, when you said you have friends from other departments also, be it be Sunaina, Aparna, then Samanvita,
Yeah,
right? All of those people.
free. So I had a lot of
Uh,
friends. I had
Reconnected.
friends in your batch. I had friends in
Hmm. Yeah, exactly. Seniors
other
also.
batches.
Yeah.
So I think 2 years seniors, 4 years juniors batch. I had a uh, this thing. So I had a general bandwidth around that space. So it was fun. BIT was a beautiful experience. So I had so much of experience. I think also generally, doing things for the department, other things got a lot
Hmm.
easier. So I used everybody in the department knew me. So that was a different experience altogether. So I was the cameraman. So I was the de facto cameraman
Hmm.
for my majority of the events. So it was fun. So department, say camera was with me, and that was a big responsibility. And I used to, taken a lot of candidates. So I was very famous. I think fame and say people was never far away after PUC. So people's space was very strongly after PUC, PIT, and then even at Bosch. So I was a through and through people's guy.
Yeah, definitely, I can see that BIT has played a major role in your and later Bosch also. But yeah, BIT
Yeah.
totally. And our college also was like that. It was not like
Was
very
fantastic.
spaced out. Everything was in that
Yeah.
compound.
Everything
So
was
in
in the
fact, we did not
compound.
have a gate. Now when I see from the metro, it is visible. We have a big gate now.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun. So we had people from other colleges. So we had like friends in other colleges. So they wanted us. So one of them was here. So he was like, he'd come to the quadrangle, and we were like, you come over to our class. So semester beginning. So we said he's diploma candidate, and he said he put proxy to somebody, and he'd got somebody else from some
Wow.
other team, and some other college. So he was doing BBM. So we had done that. We used to play tic-tac-toe in the class. We used to play word
Yes.
games. And majorly at some point we switched off listening to the things in college, but we were starting to solve MBA questions, CAT questions. So
Mm.
teachers were happy as long as you're not disturbing the class, you do whatever you want.
Yeah, whatever you want. Yeah.
We used to do CAT, we used to do records. It was a fun this thing experience, and I think all our street smartness comes from BIT. Street smartness, people smartness. Not just studies. There's more to life. So all that comes from that place.
Did you also get all those Xerox of different notes?
I think I had a very so one of the professors there. So he was really pissed, saying, "Why are you carrying the same book across 3 semesters?" So I had my PUC books. So
Hmm.
they are like PUC had, like there are a lot of books from the school, from the college. And then what I used to do is I used to so if this is one full sheet. So this is like opening a book like this. So I used to fold it again. So technically, 2 sheets become 4 sheets, and I used to write very small. So my entire electronic instrumentation notes was in 13 pages, everything done. So he's like, "Show me your notes," and I was like, it's here." And he's like, "Oh, in 4 pages you finished everything." I'm like, you ask, you give me any question, you show wherever you want, I will tell you which line I've written this." He was like,
Wow.
"No, you shouldn't do like this." But I'm like, this is how I am. This is how I write. So I'm not going to change.
ನೋಡಿ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ನಾವಿರೋದೇ ಹೀಗೆ ಅಂತ.
This became the space, and I think that entirety of the college experience was that I was always very free to be who I was. There's no restrictions
Hmm.
in any this thing, and as long as I was able to score well in the examination, I think they were also not bothered, and I was also not bothered, and yeah. So that was how it was. Internals also, I think I was the chillest guy in the internals paper. Never bothered. So people used to, and one of my first experiences with this was there was one person called I don't know if I can tell that name. I don't want to put him on the spot, but he had a year back, and then he'd come to our this thing, and then a first semester, first internals. So I am writing, and then somebody taps me like this. I turn like this. Somebody takes my paper and starts copying. I am like, where is my paper? And that's how I had taken it. And then after 2 or 3 minutes, he's like, I have your paper. And then I had to pretend I was writing. And the ma'am got to know about it, and then she's like, Sunil, why are you doing like this? Pa? And then the paper came back. And then so it was not that I was copying; people were copying from.
Yeah, yeah, correct,
So
correct,
that was
correct, correct.
the ritual I think ever after that. So I
Mm.
knew I used to look at it saying what is the question paper going to be if I am setting the paper. And as teachers, they don't want the students to fail. If students fail, then it is for them a black mark saying you thought for entirety of the say timeline between say internal to internal, and students are failing. That means you are wrong. So that is how the management will look at it. So they will
Mm.
also set a decent enough paper that's not too easy but not too tough. So they don't want you to fail. So I used to be like, if I am setting a paper like this, then what is the question paper I am going to set? So I used to be like, this is a possible delta, and 80% of the time I have to be right. So there are 4 questions, so bound to be somewhere right. So out of 25, I used to get somewhere in the early 22s, and that was enough. The next papers, somewhere 24, and then 20, 23 out of 25. That used to generally carry. And if some papers, mathematics and other things, I used to like, do well enough to get full marks. So yeah, that was the deal. And I think I never bought textbooks after Sem 3. So all were borrowed just before internals from teachers saying during internals you will not need the textbook. I will read
Wow.
the textbook during internal, give it back to you. During final exam, you will not need the textbook. You give it to me, I'll give it back to you. So full jugaad.
Oh, so you didn't have to visit the Avenue Road.
I didn't have to visit Avenue. But I think my like bond with HSV was basically like that. And embedded systems, we had some legendary teachers. And I was like, oh, I'm going to pass. I'm like, I'm going to do that, this thing. But she's like, whatever textbook you are referring to currently is old syllabus. And then two
Mm,
days before the exam, she realized that I have not yet taken the textbook. That's semester 8. If I lose that, then possibly Bosch would have also got lost. Then
yeah.
she brought the text. She bought the textbook. Then she's like, I am going to give the textbook to you. You read it, return it after you finish the exam.
Wow.
So in last 2 days, I read embedded system, the latest syllabus, and then passed. So, and that's why I have like
Oh,
very, very high regards for her as an individual. Because I don't think any teacher would have done that because
yeah, so sweet. Who was a teacher?
HSV.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
yeah,
She was the one who gave you the
yeah,
new version of the.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's so sweet. No teacher would do that.
Yeah.
Man.
So there are many instances I think with her and with so many of the spaces. So I don't think
Mm,
any teacher would have done that. So
yes.
and that is why like they have very high reverence for her as an individual.
Fantastic. Fantastic. I think, again, I have to say, we have barely scratched the surface. I want to ask many other questions I want to know about you. Even within BIT and also Bosch, we have not even come because I also have a connection with Bosch.
Hmm.
So yeah, we'll continue. We'll have to do
Episode
a second version.
episode 2 will continue.
Yes, we'll have to do an episode 2 on this one for sure. Maybe a 3 also,
Seriously.
depending on how it
I
goes.
am happy to do this, and then like what I can do is I can show this off to prospective right swipers who do right swipe my marriage profile. I can be like, see, there are four
Correct.
podcasts with Kiran. So listen to the four podcasts, you'll know who I am. So then you can say,
Yes, correct. That's it. Don't ask me too many questions again and again.
yeah, yeah. So this is
Here
the
is my
engineer.
version.
The engineer in me saying, I on anyways code is there. I'm going to copy paste it. Why do the entirety again? So just copy paste it. That's it.
Correct, correct.
Optimize.
Fantastic. In fact, here you would have spoken even better. Like as you
Hmm.
said, like in that shot also, in that Anange Jai, where he did not say the director
Yeah,
that he's
yeah.
actually
Director
shooting it.
cut is. Yeah.
So this is like that. You can tell your prospects that see, this is even better because I've spoken without any bias or without even thinking about anything. The truth I have spoken.
Hmm.
Fantastic, Pungi. I don't know. Actually, it's hard to believe 1 hour has gone by because I really did not know. I'm feeling very happy on my Saturday morning here. I started my day very well.
Hmm.
Thank you so much. We'll definitely continue. And for viewers also, yes, you will see more of Pungi
More of
in the
me,
next
yeah. Until you get bored.
podcasts. Yeah, no, I don't think they are bored. No, yeah, it's a lot of stories, a lot of things to learn, amazing experiences. I'm very much looking forward to it.
Fantastic, Kiran. Thank you for saying yes to this. So when you came up with this thing, I want you to interview me as soon as I had interviewed you. So I think it was. I love sharing my stories. I love being myself. And who does not want free publicity?
Correct, correct. No, no. More than that, I think it is when we recollect these, I think then we will be able to even show our gratitude to all the people
Uh,
who were part of our journey. And where people are also curious because now they know you as a people person, as a person who is impacting the lives of people every single day. And you have this goal of making the world a kinder world. So then these are very important. This is the journey that you have been through. So I'm sure all the viewers will be, including me, we are very interested to know all the minute details, how
sure.
it impacted your life. So thank you for this, and we'll
Thank you, Kiran.
meet again.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you
Bye
so
bye,
much.
viewers, for now.
Yeah.
See you soon.